Okay, this part of the lecture, this recording here, the subsequent recordings are a follow-up of the quality management, what we call a quality management system. So as mentioned, part of the quality management, no matter what sort of quality management systems that you utilize, whether it's from a ready-made system or your company ready-made system, or whether it's your own creation of a new system that you're applying to your project specifically, or you as a quality manager in a company or quality officer in a company, you have that quality system, quality management system. So this quality management system actually it comprises of three things. Okay, it doesn't run away from these three things: QP, QA, and QC. So here I'm going to be explaining in each of the recording here QP, QA, QC in more details. Okay, so basically everything starts with planning. We need to know about quality planning. So in the beginning, where you are actually going and meet the minds of the client, you need to understand their needs, their orientation, the way that they want things to be, and what is the kind of end product that they're looking at. You need to understand their budgets. You need to understand their timeline. And then when you start to do your preliminary design or your conceptual design, it's going to be, it's a process of trying to get to know your client better. You try to meet their mind. So your mind and their mind must meet so that you can actually create a design and a product at the end of the day that meets their requirements. So basically, QP, QA, QC, they are all in the basis of TQM. So TQM is what I've mentioned, total quality management, which is having many components. It's people component, it's customer component, it's goal-orientated, it's actually improvement-based, and it's actually long-term. We're not talking about finish this project and that's it, we close door, so we need to make further improvement for the next project, etc., etc. So that is TQM. So on the basis of TQM, there is a lot more other type of theory around nowadays, but TQM is still quite of a form. Like for us in construction, we are still stuck in that inspection era. So moving on to TQM era is actually quite a big step forward already. So not to mention that, other type of quality management method or theory. So we base it on TQM. So TQM has that framework of leadership, of people, of customer focus, etc., etc., which we've mentioned earlier on in the previous recording. In the previous class, during class, you see. So this one here follow up. Let's say now you know TQM, this is what TQM focus on. So based on the framework of TQM, we're trying to create our own QMS. And in that QMS, the backbone will be three items: QP, QA, QC. So QP, it is based on planning of the whole system of managing the processes and the input and the output of the final product. Okay, so it's the creation, is the design of the entire process. And the most basic things that we can think of would be doing what we call a quality plan or a quality project quality plan. And in construction, we mostly do PQP, project quality plan. And it is a form of a manual. Even though a manual is very management-like, it's like for middle management and above, but it should also contain some details. So sometimes quality manual, in some cases, may not contain a lot of procedural details. But I think, you should start off with number one, knowing the policy of the company. So meaning that what is your, like in TQM, we're talking about leadership and mission and vision, the objectives of your company, the mindset, the culture of your company. So you must understand what is your company policy on quality. If your company is just I get things done, all I care about is bottom line, then you're going to find it very hard to create a QMS, a quality management system. So you must understand what is your management like, what is their preferences, what is their ideal, what is their goals, what is the objective, where they're bringing the company to, So if they're going to go for international standard, doing international project, then you're talking about high level quality products here. So when we talk about in that particular manual, which it should comprise of policy statement, and all the authorities, also the authority requirements, internal, external, your organization. It's about understanding the company quality policy, about your organization, about who is in charge, and about external environment, like who are the authorities responsible for whatever item that you're looking at, because the policy also make a difference in terms of how you do design and construction as well. So you cannot not ignore the external environment. So in that sense, we are also having like we also want to list down the external, internal that will all affect our quality, and then of course the list of procedures. List of procedures we're talking about, what we're going to go into now in terms of PQP. So this is the overall, and PQP should be based on all these, resources analysis, whatever resources you have, network, time. These are all the basic of what you're building your PQP upon, you see. So after understanding your timeline, key events, your start time, lag time, end time, because the time, cost, quality doesn't split for one another. And these are some of the basis of how you can design your project quality plan. So if you do not understand the timeline given, you do not understand the budget, the cost given, you do not understand the work breakdown, it's going to be very difficult to build up your PQP. Okay, so first, for PQP, you must have your work breakdown. So understanding all your cost, time, your work breakdown first, your work breakdown, all your key activities, key events, key items that goes into the project. Then you don't have to really go down to even the third layer, but in some cases you may have to, because there is something there that is very critical for you to work on, you see. And then obviously, if you can cover through second layers or first layer, overall how the project will be, overall how that particular major activity will be run, you will still need to look at the second and third layer. But when you write up your PQP, it may be based on that first layer, but when you've already taken into consideration of all the second and third layers. Okay, remember that. Okay, so when you write, you may write, a structural management, quality management plan. You see, so then from there, inside there, beam, concreting, beam work, concreting, bar bending, form working, they are all having their own kind of write-up. See, so you may write it under one structure category, but you still need to look at the layer 2 and layer 3, you see. So basically what you cover, so you have the PQP, you already know the material, you already know the manpower list involved, you already know the machineries. Okay, so with that, in fact, all of that has already been known in your earlier part here, like when you're doing cost analysis, when you're doing time analysis, the network, resources analysis, it's all there in the information. So that is the part that is not that difficult. The numbers are all there, the numbers, material, manpower, and all that is all there. But now, how do you associate those items, like the material, how do you associate them with the quality plan? So then you'll be looking at a few things, okay? And that is majorly will be standards and methods and testing. These are the few things that we generally will cover in our PPT. So we will refer you to the later on, the next recording whereby we're talking about the PQP, what should be in the PQP. Okay, there's a PDF file that I want you to refer to when you come to this section later on. Okay,